Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Are we ready for the 30-degree temperature and denial?
Yes.
See, there's always something to laugh about. You know, not all extreme conditions have the necessity or the ability to tie us down. So I hope when we all wake up in the morning, we'll be able to laugh about 30 degrees. It feels good. It feels good. Change is always good, and change is pleasant. And as we get into the talk part of the conversation, just to remind you, when I speak from inspiration, and my words are not just for you, they're just as well for me. So this is a very important weekend. If you would understand, if you know what's going on, this is a very, very important weekend. Because perhaps it's preparing us for tomorrow. And each given day allows us that opportunity to prepare for tomorrow. Now, tomorrow happens to be Martin Luther King Day. And waking up this morning, just connecting and wanting to connect with the higher consciousness and the spirit, the thought just has been dragging me to tomorrow already. But the idea here is where we are in today's journey for ourselves. What are we giving? What are we giving to ourselves? What are we giving to each other? What are we giving to each other as a community? And so on and so forth. You know, his opening statement of his speech is still powerful. It still leaves you with goosebumps and chills, reminding you to have a dream. To have the ability to see something that is in the future, not just in the here and now. To be in the here and now is very important because it allows us to stay connected. And within our study of spiritualism and the natural law, historically going back, all the pioneers, all the individuals that has fueled the fires of spiritualism had one purpose, of having a dream to see that what was being experienced through their own lens continues not just that day, but in the future, and the days beyond days. So some of those individuals supported financially, some of those individuals supported intellectually, some of those pioneers were doing the work, but they were all carrying the dream of taking spiritualism to a different platform and a different venue. At some point, spiritualism had millions of followers and following and membership. But often, spiritualism is such an open-hearted religion, it's hard to find that common ground that allows each other to be bonded with it. We seem organized on the periphery of it, but on the inside we're all independent individual thinkers. And to hold all the individual thinkers in one place is a very difficult task. So the indoctrination of our philosophy allows us to assume that personal responsibility in moving forward. And that personal individuality allows us to be in our space and respecting who we are the way we are. But what about Martin Luther King? What about all those other individuals that have come and gone, and all they had in their heart is an aspect of servitude? What about our spiritualist pioneers and mediums and teachers and healers that have given just from the aspect of service? That service is very important. I was just recently studying an article, and all it says is if you really want to grow, take an attitude of servitude. And you would not only grow on a personal level, on a spiritual level, but you will grow in numbers within the community. You have to allow yourself to sit in the space of service. At some point, money is relevant because it makes things move. It allows us to have the dream job, dream car, dream materialistic possessions. But beyond that point of your satisfaction, of your own aspiration, is the aspect of service. So one primary example of Mother Teresa just comes to thought, saying She spent her life in servitude, not asking, expecting anything more than what she was interested and solely vested in. But in the hindsight, she has received everything that she ever desired and wanted. Just her want and desire to serve those that needed her. She got to travel the world. She had the opportunity to be the premium candidate on major public speaking events, fundraising, Nobel Prizes, and so on and so forth. But she still kept her focus on serving those that needed her the most. Martin Luther King did the same thing. He changed his focus and just allowed his spirit and himself to serve those that needed that movement. And he made a difference. So did Mahatma Gandhi, and so did Nelson Mandela, and so did everybody that chooses to work from spirit from the aspect of servitude. I am just as flesh and bones as anybody is seated in front of me. And every now and then I have to do my checks and balances. Spirit, please allow me to do this from the right heart and the right intention. And allow me to serve more than I'm just wanting to keep a materialistic focus of my life. And that checks and balance has helped on many occasions to just becoming so mechanical. The moment life becomes mechanical, I feel I'm finding a pattern for myself to ask myself, is my heart in the right place? Am I doing it for the right reasons? What is the purpose behind my journey? And I'm sure we all at different ages and different subsets of our experience can ask the same thing. Where I am, what I'm doing right now, is it allowing me to stay connected with my higher self and my higher purpose? Sometimes it's a known thing, sometimes it's an unknown thing. But at the end of the day, you do get to do your personal checks and balances within our personal responsibility. But that aspect of service allows us to grow, not only close to each other in spirit, but it allows us to grow as groups, communities, congregations, and everything. So there are big philanthropists all around this world. One of them is, the gentleman's name is Naveen Jain, and you can research and study about him. He came to the U.S. with practically nothing, and now he is a multi-billion-dollar company and organization. He takes on turnkey projects, he takes on people that have a dream and allows them to fulfill their dream. So you can say that he is investing in something that he's seeing a future in. But at the end of the day, he reminds himself and everybody that his idea is to serve, to leave people with something that is beneficial. So I feel his purpose within himself, yes, he's seeing the tangibility of the materialistic balance, but he's also keeping a very high focus on servitude, doing things that help humanity in some way or capacity. Often we become so microscopic within our own lifestyle and create that format that is almost like a self-deteriorating thing, and we don't realize until it's too late, until we see the skeleton of what is being left. And how do you grow from there? How do you start from that point of awareness, like, okay, it's time to just about close to hit the rock bottom, and where do we go from here? Perhaps that is the time to say, I'm responsible for me, but I'm also given the spirit to serve, to give selflessly, and to inspire those that see and become a part of this journey. And to be reminded, if I choose to do things selflessly, they have to be purely selfless. Not because I'm doing this, somebody else will do it. It's my purpose, it's my connection and commitment to that impression. So as I prepared through this moments of conversation in the morning time period, there is a very unsettling feeling that just stayed with me, and it still is. And I am seeing that state of unsettlement as the genesis of something bigger and newer within myself. And I know by the time this conversation, this day ends, there is a renewal of spirit within my own spirit to put me in a different trajectory that perhaps I'm not aware of. We all have those moments when we step into the energy where we do not know how to navigate or handle things or handle life or make choices and decisions. How about just taking that small pause, allowing yourself to step back and let the bigger picture be revealed to where and what we need to know. I don't have all the clues. I don't have all the answers. I will never have all the answers. And the truth is, I really don't want all the answers. Life's going to become very boring. I like that aspect of discovery, aspect of exploration, aspect of finding things along the way and just going from there. Not every day is the same. It's going to be different. So every time life spins us off in a different direction or allows us to let go of things that are no longer serving us, it's a discovery in that not only for ourselves, but it's even an exciting discovery how those things, objects, places, and people that are out of our system, how they progress on their own. And there's nothing to be feeling bad about or feeling competitive about it. Sometimes it's just the beautiful letting go of that energy and feeding them the energy for their highest and the best, letting them thrive on what they're wanting to thrive on. They have a purpose within that, and they will find a purpose of service within their aspect of work. It's a beautiful thing of seeing those that are not a part of my journey anymore, how well they are doing, and to sit back and be able to say, that is incredible how they are thriving on their own. That takes away from the gut feeling that gets, that gut-wrenching feeling upon the changes. But it's nice to say, that's wonderful. I'm glad things happen the way they happen. It's a nice way to see they needed that experience for themselves, not just for me. And there's a beautiful place to feel the allowance of spirit that it is with everybody, it's not just with me. No greater than I am than anybody else that is here or outside of this place. We are all equals. We are all equals in spirit. That wisdom, that consciousness that is within us is also equally present with each and every one of us. Where we are in our progression of our awareness allows us to tune in to how we need to understand that wisdom. It's there. Also in my discovery in the last few months, actually it has been an older discovery, but more relevant in this time period, is nothing that we talk and say and speak and think of is new. It already exists. We just find the right frequency to speak it out loud. It's all there. It's all there. So the divine intelligence is called divine intelligence because it is intelligent on its own. And we are a fragment of that intelligence in our own right. So we are a set of divine intelligence on our own self. So we are a separate entity while within the realm of being a part of that infinite intelligence. So we are given the responsibility to be intelligent to begin with. Yet often we push ourselves in a corner with a sense of ego or sense of self-preservation, caring for myself too much, putting myself first all the time, most of the time. And at the end of the day, if we choose to do that over and over again, we'll find ourselves, we are the only one left in the corner. Everybody else has gone where they needed to go, right? Intelligence is built in us from the moment of conception. Even prior to that, the soul that enters the body is already a spark of that divine intelligence. And it's choosing that body for a certain experience. So we all, as we leave here, say, we are intelligent beings, and we'll do the right thing that is in the right manner for, not just for me, but for each and every one of us. Opening and touching humanity through the purpose within this intelligence. But then again, what about me? What happens to me when all this is said and done and I have to return back to the divine intelligence? What about me at that point? Am I not important? Do I don't need respect from others? Well, guess if we are intelligent enough to do the right things at the right time, we really don't crave for all that. And all these prominent people that have come and gone past as an example for us knew that self is an illusion. While we chase the self, we allow ourselves to feel important in this flesh and body, while self is omnipresent and it's always there. But what about me? I feel for the next few days, everybody should ask that question first thing in the morning. But what about me? And see how the life responds back to you. If we did not have each other, then what about me will be a very painful response. You cannot operate on your own. And within the natural laws, it's a repeated expression for me in my learning. And to share that, not each and every natural law operates on its own. You've got to have one or two or more to make things work. So when the natural law from the divine order of the higher intelligence cannot operate on its own, why are we all falling apart? Why can't we all bond together and stay connected and work with each other, using that intelligence that is already inherent in ourselves? Why not? And use that strength to build the service, or the idea of the service of a community that opens and resonates that frequency of servitude to those that see us as a whole. And get inspired to where they need to be within their own journey of life, joining us or getting inspiration from us and creating the intelligence within themselves for their own best needs. My journey within spiritualism has been pretty much like yours, just my version of it. My chapters are slightly differently numbered than yours, but it's no different. It's still pretty close. And to this very day, there is an amazing discovery on a moment-to-moment basis that allows me to say, oh, I really cannot do this work by myself. This is not me. I have no way of doing this without something that really moves my spirit to those experiences. I cannot. Absolutely not, because it is not within my power for that. And I'm sure each and every one of us that is here and outside of here knows the same thing. Most of what we have done so far in our lives, what we have accomplished so far in our lives, we think we did it on our own. But no, others have played part along it. Some gave us love, some gave us kindness, some gave us comfort, some gave us pain, some gave us really, really those experiences that has created us the way we are seated here. Sometimes it pertains to other human beings. Sometimes it pertains to our physical conditionality. But at the end of the day, we are sum total of all of our experiences, of everybody that has come into our pathways, all the spirits and all the lives that we have touched, all the spirits and all the lives that we have been touched by. We are sum total of that. We are not here just because we are supposed to be here. We are here to be a part of this journey on this earth plane. Bone, flesh, spirit, all together. And we need to learn to be able to become an instrument of service at the end of the day. And that is very important.